a good health during this COVID period, COVID calamity we are facing, COVID-19. And we have to remember that without protecting our nature, you cannot protect yourself and humanity. Humanity is a tiny part of the nature. We cannot conquer and control the nature. We are just part of it. We are just a part of that universe, huge, huge universe. And because of one microorganism, partially live, partially not live, we are facing a pandemic of this extent. Disrupted everything that human intelligence has created over hundreds of years. So let's commit ourselves to protect the nature, because this 5th June is the World Environment Day, and the message of this year is time for nature, super biodiversity, protect the biodiversity. I am Professor Sudhir Ghwane. I am from Maharashtra, Aurangabad, and presently I am Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi Mission Charitable Trust, MGM University, which is a self-financed university in Maharashtra. My friends, we are living in a COVID times. And I say this is as WC, with COVID and without classroom. Every education is at present without classroom, with COVID. And we are thinking what will happen AC, that is after COVID. So with COVID, without classroom, after COVID, AC, what will happen? So all of a sudden we were thrown and compelled for digital learning, e-learning mode. I was Vice Chancellor of the Maharashtra Open University, and I know how it was difficult to engage teachers and communities and students into e-learning. And e-learning was considered as substandard to the conventional learning systems of our colleges and universities. And now times have changed. Everybody is into e-learning, digital touch teaching learning methodology, teaching from home, learning from home. That is the new funda. And I personally feel that how our higher education system and education system in particular is being disrupted by the COVID effect. Now, my friends, because of the compulsions of times and compulsion of COVID calamity, Corona calamity, we are into digitally driven education. I call it as DDE, digitally driven education. Was it that this technology was not there, ICT, information communication technologies or IT was not there before? It was there. But it was a playing role of supplementary to the conventional education system. Now, the supplementary system has become the mainstream of the education system. And therefore, I call it as a DDE, digitally driven education. In digitally driven education, there is a parallel system altogether. It has dismantled the conventional teaching and learning system, which we were into decades together, centuries together. That change, that disruptive change, has changed our mindset. You know, unlocking our mind is also important, like unlocking the lockdown at the present situation. Unlocking the mindset of the teachers, learners, parents and society as a whole is required. So what is that unlocking of the mind? I want to explain that. My friends, now physical classrooms are not going to be the main structures of teaching learning methodology, TLM. Now they will be mostly replaced by the virtual classroom, VCs. The practical laboratories, the physical practical laboratories will be transformed into virtual laboratories, VLs. They already exist. During the UPA 1-2, there was a national mission on education through ICT, 3,000 crores. And through that, the Sakshat platform was created, it is existing, and IITs are offering that. But very few institutions were using it, utilizing it. But times have changed. Now, because of the SWAYAM platform created by the MHRD, the present Modi government, and the SWAYAM Prabha channels, consortium of educational communication, which is in very place, and the MOOC programs available, developed by the top universities in the world, from Cambridge to Stanford, to Harvard, to Oxford, to MIT. They are into MOOC, and as per my review, there are 10,000 courses available in the MOOC format. And the time has changed. The MIT Boston has come out with one program, experimental program, master degree in supply chain management through MOOCs, 3 semesters, anybody, anywhere from the world, anytime, can acquire the credits from various universities in the world as per the curriculum design for the first semester, appear for the exam to the respective universities, and clear the first semester, then again clear the second semester, being at respective place, respective institution, respective village, or the city or the town, anywhere in the world, then accumulate the credits of the third semester by complying all courses available, offered by many universities in the world. And the fourth semester, they will be admitted to the MIT Boston for completion of the research. This way, this kind of aggregation of the academics is going to happen. And simultaneous education, I call it as simultaneous education. UGC has also come up with the Men's College, Chennai. I can follow undergraduate program or graduation program or PG diploma program from any university in the world, open and distance learning model, ODL, open and distance learning model. And I can acquire too. So knowledge is free and testing by fee is the funda of the present new times. There is no age bar. Any person of any age. For that matter, there is a case of Stanford University, which was referred by my earlier esteemed speaker, Ms. Filani. Undergrad student at the age of 18 got the patent. So there is a possibility now that anybody of any age can acquire doctoral degree before completing the teenage. What matters is the research, the quality of research, patentable research. And that quality is very important. Here is no bar. conditions are no bar. This is all flexible model. And therefore, anybody, anytime, from anywhere, at any age, with any background, can pursue any education of quality. Knowledge is free, testing by fee. And I call it as, which is emerging, and I describe this as Facebook model of education. What is that Facebook model of education? Here, content is free, uploading is free, downloading is free, knowledge is free, which is also in terms of open and distance learning called as OER, Open Educational Resource. And OER going to be expand exponentially in next 3-4 years. So any kind of knowledge, on any discipline, on any concept, you can get the best quality knowledge produced by best quality intellectuals in the world. Aggregation of knowledge by the global intelligentsia at your disposal without any cost. See the benefits of corona calamity. And that knowledge I can pursue from anywhere, from remote village, for a tribal society, or any corner of the Africa continent. And I am comparable with anybody in the world. I can compete with anybody in the world. That is the Facebook model of education. I will get knowledge, I will acquire knowledge, I will be truly a learner, not the receiver in a classroom, my teacher is speaking for hours together and I am not getting what concept he is describing. His communication abilities are poor, and in my observation, 70% teachers are not good communicators. Whatever they are teaching in the classes for hours together, years together, is not communicated at all. Only few students can grasp because they are intelligent, and others are not able to grasp. But by this mode, a student will be 100%, they will be converted into a learner, a pure learner. They can study at home, they can study at school, they can study anywhere, they can sit anywhere with leisurely, they can be in forest, they can be at home, they can be in a market, and if they want to learn and work, they can work anywhere. Most importantly, the beauty of this is that our GR, gross enrollment ratio, in India is 25.15% or something. So 75% youth of India belonging to the age group or collegeable age group, they should be in the higher education system. They are thrown out. We call it as a dropout, but I say they are thrown out because of socio-economic deprivation and poverty. Who do not want to empower themselves by knowledge? Everybody. But they have been denied that opportunity because of socio-economic conditions of theirs. And therefore, I personally feel this Facebook model of education will open the doors for all. I call it as democratization of the education, democratization of the knowledge, of the quality knowledge. There is a Chaturvarna system as present in our education system. Best institutions, best colleges, best universities are available who have rich background, who can pay high. They will have high quality education. Who cannot pay high, they will not have quality education. But this Facebook model of education will disrupt that system, dismantle that system of, and it will create a massification of education and knowledge sharing and knowledge creation. So we are entering into the new age, new era by compulsion of times, thanks to COVID, which has compelled us to adopt this, acquire this. And therefore, with the help of digitally driven education, what I say, artificial intelligence, every teacher should know what that artificial intelligence is and how it can be applied to our day-to-day teaching. We must know. Every teacher should know this. Internet of Things, which was referred by earlier to esteemed speakers. Internet of Things, we should know what is that. We should know augmented reality, what is that? AR, VR, virtual reality. So in virtual reality, you create a parallel world, virtual world. Virtual studios are there, virtual labs are there. So that virtuality is there. So virtual examinations, virtual assessment, virtual classrooms, virtual examinations, virtual laboratories, virtual teaching, virtual universities, virtual colleges. This is the future. And virtual students, virtual teachers. And I will get education from the best of the best talented professors available across the world. I can be student of that teacher, and en masse student will be there. For example, I am a teacher. I will have students from 50, 60, 100 countries. And I will be offering my knowledge, sharing my knowledge. And we are in the age of generation of knowledge, retrievation of knowledge, generation of knowledge, application of knowledge, and creating a new economic sectors. Let us understand that drastic change, disruptive change we are facing, and understand the future of this. So, as I said, every teacher should understand AI, its application in education, a school teacher, higher education teacher, everybody. Next, they should understand the virtual reality, what it is, how it can be utilized for the higher education, a school education for that matter. Then the augmented reality, you create objects through augmented reality, virtual objects, how they are useful for teaching, and very fascinating and captive teaching methodology can be utilized by augmented reality and virtual reality. Dinosaur in film, Jurassic Park, was a virtual creativity, virtually created. It was not existing physically. Likewise, you can create anything, any object by deploying VR and AR. There is a R learning, that is robo-based learning. And robo will be help as a teaching assistant to a teacher. Robo-based learning, mobile-based learning. This is the future of education and higher education. And then, with the help of blockchain technology, my friends, many of the people, even in the higher education, have a misconception that blockchain technology is only limited to the cryptocurrency. It is not so. Blockchain technology is a distributed data warehouse. And you can do real-time checking. If I am speaking something wrong, I will be corrected real time, this moment. And you are in a network society. What is that network society, my friends? The concept of network society is everybody on this earth, 7.5 billion people, are connected with each other through smartphones. This is going to happen in next 5-6 years. At present, more than 80% people are connected in a network world. 6 billion people. And balance 1.5 billion people will soon join that, because smartphones are going to be cheaper and cheaper day by day because of technological innovation. So everybody on this earth will be connected with each other, and therefore the whole earth and whole humanity will be a network society. and anybody can connect with anybody, share ideas and knowledge and innovations, share culture, share art, create arts, juxtapositioning of the arts and ideas and business and innovations, collaborative work, co-creation, co-work, co-association. That is going to be the next feature. At the end, I have given 20 minutes. I will try to conclude myself in 20 minutes time. And I will say, everybody of us has heard of think globally and act locally. That is not the only option we have. I have expanded that thinking. There is a think globally, act locally. No doubt it is there. We have to deploy that thinking. But there is think locally, act locally. We have to address local issues, Indian issues. Every time speaking of US and UK is of no use. They have failed miserably. So-called their robust health system has failed. So nothing is ideal. No society is ideal. Don't blindly follow anything, any society for that matter. So think locally, act locally. Use traditional wisdom of the people, traditional knowledge of the people. Deploy it, and you will find the solution to the local problems. Our all students should be solution engineers. Maybe they're from management science, art science, commerce, even engineering, or the medical, whatever the discipline they follow. But they have to be solution engineers to the local issues and local problems, tiny, small problems. We should provide the solution to them. That is one. So therefore, think locally, act locally. Again, think locally, act globally. What the wisdom of India, what the wisdom of Tamil Nadu, we can offer to the world. There are a lot of things to offer to the world. Not only a lot of things to get from the world, abroad, developed world. We can give a lot more to the developed world. It's not that they are only givers and we are takers. We are givers and they are also takers. So think locally, act globally. What local technology, local wisdom, what traditional medicine can utilize the knowledge for the betterment of the humanity across the world. Think locally, act globally. I speak for 1 hour on this, but I will just summarize my saying. And then lastly, think globally, act globally. So we have to think globally, and we have to globally. Everybody is a global citizen in a network society, which is going to happen in few years from now. Only we have to think that if every teacher is not virtual teacher, e-teacher, if he is not equipped with the skills, upskilling of only student is not required, upskilling of teachers is also required. And therefore at MGM University, we are developing a faculty development program in this digital learning mode. And there will be many teachers across the world will be conducting that faculty development program. And one professor can be from Europe, one can be from India, one can be from South Africa, one can be from Bangladesh, and they will be conducting this faculty development program in understanding their problems, their situations, and multicultural, multi-knowledge resource, and multi-societal faculty development program. So we'll be grasped with the knowledge and the problems and issues of the world togetherly. So my friends, we are in a disrupted world by COVID. And the zoonotic diseases which have come from the animals, corona virus, COVID-19, has come from the animal kingdom. And according to United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, there are many more such diseases are going to come, infectious. We have to be ready for that. Why they have come? Root cause is the human intervention, encroachment, and aggression on the nature. in the name of so-called development. We have destroyed jungles. We have destroyed biodiversity. We created jungles of the cement. And this very earth, Mother Earth, which gives us life, which gives us oxygen, which gives us food, our livelihood is fully dependent on that Mother Nature. And we are so cruel, brutal, destroyers. Humanity is the destroyer of the nature. Let us confess that. And therefore, UN says, time for nature. If you want to protect yourself, the face shield and the mask is the permanent mask and permanent face shield is that you should protect our Mother Earth. Work for that. Follow the green culture. Follow the green lifestyles. Protect the nature. Then only you can protect the humanity. Humanity cannot conquer the nature. We are tiny. We are small, very micro element of the nature. Let us understand the science spirit of the nature and follow that. That is the only path. Our Marathi son Tukaram has rightly said. I will explain that. Rukshavalli ama soyare vanchare pakshini susware gati. The trees and animals are our relatives. The nature is our relative. Let us protect them. Let us preserve them. And 300 years back, Sant Tukaram of Marathi has said that we have to follow that path. Let me conclude with the great poem by the Nobel Laureate of India, nobody else than Rabindranath Tagore. What he has said, Path chale jete jete. I have an English translation. I am concluding with that. As we journey through life, the feel of your presence comes to us. That is the feel of nature. Somehow, sometimes, somewhere. In the scent of an unknown flower, in the joys of our heart, the song of a passerby, we feel your presence. I will repeat this. In the scent of an unknown flower, in the joy of our heart, in the song of the passerby, we feel your presence.